Hi, I'm Dr. Bonnie Clipper, the Chief Clinical Officer at Wambi. Today, I'm here with Martie Moore, healthcare expert, CNO, and strategic transformer. We want to share a few moments of insight, gratitude, and inspiration with you. Martie, thanks for taking the time to be with me today.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
What thoughts and insights can you share with our healthcare heroes and leaders at this unprecedented time?
Bonnie, I obviously, all of us are deep in thought about what we're seeing and what we're facing. And I reflect upon a time when I had just started as a new nurse. I started when this undiagnosed illness was kind of sweeping the country. And we thought that it only affected one population. And what we learned is that viruses don't care. They just don't care, right? And I remember that this young man called me down. He wasn't my patient, but he called me down. And it was in the middle of the night. And I said, "Can I help you?" And he looked at me and he goes, "I want someone to know that I mattered." And I kind of took my breath and I said, "Well, of course you matter," which was a trite answer. It really was. And he said, "No, no, no." And he asked me to go over and pull out of the lockers. Remember, we used to have those lockers in patient rooms. And he asked me to look at the graphics designs. He was a graphic artist. He was a beautiful artist. And he wanted me to know, me, this individual person who had never met him before, that he had contributed through his skills and his talent to society. And it was so important for him. His family had disowned him. He came home to be with them, and they disowned him. And now I reflect and I kind of fast forward into the world that we're in now. Back then we didn't understand HIV. We didn't understand AIDS. We were fearful of it. We were scared. Some people would refuse to care for those individuals that were diagnosed. And, those that did were seen as heroes. And when I reflect on it, I reflect back to the fact that we didn't know, and yet we still loved. We still showed compassion and empathy, and we really, really supported humanity. And that's what I'm watching in so much of what's happening across the world today, is the fact that healthcare providers are just these amazing individuals who are saying, "Okay, I don't know everything I know about this virus. I wish I did. I really do. But I do know is that I am able to be there and to connect and to look at that human with those lens of care, compassion, and love for humanity." And that's what's so critical and so important. I hear uncharted, unprecedented, and times that we've never seen before. There are lessons that we can lean into because we have seen some things before, not to this extent, obviously, and that we can share those lessons and we can ground ourselves into really and truthfully what we are about as nurses and as healthcare providers, because I think that grounding is so important. And then additionally, the other thing I love to share with you is that many times I don't know that and I think others really know the differences that they're making. And, as they're walking into a room, just as I happened to answer that call light that day, that young man left me a note. It's a note to this day that I still have that reminds me that every time, every moment, we can truly touch a life, touch a heart. And so I just want to thank everybody that's out there and just remind them that even if you don't know, you are really and truly influencing others. And there's so much gratitude in our hearts for you.
Wow, that's such a beautiful point, because I think so often we get tied in knots over things and forget that we are people caring for people. And that sort of brings it down to the most simple organic level. But you're right, we're very empathetic and compassionate, and we want to make sure that we don't lose that.
Yeah, absolutely. That young man gave me a gift early in my career. It's a gift I've never, ever forgotten. And it's one that I have have leaned into so many times as I have become a leader, and the decisions that I make. I started a program called Nobody Dies Alone long before it was well understood and utilized. And now I'm watching nurses who have really taken that and taken it to far greater proportions than what we ever thought we would do, but understanding that need to have somebody presence during those final times is just so critical. And to those nurses out there that have said, I will not let you die alone, I applaud you. I am cheering you on when I see you on the news and I'm crying and you're ruining my makeup, but I am applauding you all because you're right. I mean, this is the role that we can do and fulfill for so many people.
It's really an incredible opportunity that we have in people's lives.
Yes, absolutely. I've always said that nurses nurses see more in the course of a day than most people see in their lifetime. And, if anything I can say about this moment in time is that it's opened the world into what nurses do. I always like to use the analogy that, let's say, all of a sudden overnight, all the nurses disappear because we are the glue, man. We are the glue that holds healthcare together. And if overnight, if nurses just disappear, healthcare would fall apart. I mean, that's my personal opinion, but I think it would fall apart. And now, really and truthfully, so many people truly understand how nurses and healthcare providers are the glue. And that glue is something that we really have to celebrate and acknowledge and support and elevate.
It's a beautiful message, Martie. Thank you for sharing that. And where can people find you on social media?
I would love for them to find me on LinkedIn. So it's Martie Moore. And I also post on a monthly basis articles. And so if you want to follow me, you can see my articles.
That's awesome. And thank you again, Martie, for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Dr. Bonnie Clipper. And remember, at Wambi, moments move us.